Sejam bem-vindos ao canal. Continue infinito. Sou Curupira, assistente do Macambira, e estou aqui para te receber no canal. Fiquem com esta gameplay nostálgica e até logo. Sejam bem-vindos ao canal. Continue infinito.
I've read people respond to, like, Ultimate came out because MK3 wasn't performing the way as we had hoped, but that had nothing to do with it. We were going to be releasing the home game, MK3, relatively soon.
Round one. Fight.
So the idea was when MK3 comes out for the home, we'll refresh the arcade with Ultimate MK3.
We were fully aware of the home versions and the role they were playing, and we didn't want the arcade industry to think that we forgot about them. You'll have a cooler version.
In September, when Mortal Kombat hysteria reaches a fever pitch, a ROM update will be available to operators free of charge. When you buy the game, you own the update. This update will feature new characters, new secret moves, and additional fighting environments not available on any home platform. The update will make your arcade game a brand new fighting experience.
That was planned, and so it was part of the plan all along, and so we withheld purposely what we thought were the most popular characters just so that we would give it a bump when Ultimate came out. The fact that it was Scorpion and Sub-Zero and Katana and Mileena just meant that we were able to squeeze more characters with less memory.
Well done.
With MK2, I remember that we had such success with bringing new characters, Kung Lao, Jax, Katana, Mileena. They were so iconic that we were like, adding new characters is cool. And the next game we had 15, so we couldn't bring all 12 from MK2, and we wanted to bring back Sonya and Kano and stuff like that. So from my perspective, I just remember not really realizing how much Scorpion and Sub-Zero were the poster characters.
Yeah.
So we were just like, okay, let's make Sub-Zero unmasked, and we wrote a story for him.
Right.
And Scorpion, we'll just give him a rest, you know, which was blasphemy. We balanced it better. I think Ultimate MK3 was much better balanced than MK3. A lot of people come to me and there's this debate of what's the better game, Mortal Kombat 2 or Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. There's always this little bit of a debate going on that they play so differently. But the fact that they're so different to me is what's cool. Is like, you know, they're two very different games as opposed to the same game with prettier graphics.
MK4 was definitely a new chapter for Mortal Kombat. It was our first 3D game, obviously.
We've created a new game at Midway. We could tell you and how it renders 1.2 million polygons per second. About the lifelike 3D characters and amazingly real backgrounds. About a new weapons feature that will revolutionize fighting games.
I recall just the industry going towards 3D, and there was almost an assumption that, of course, you know, we're going to go in that direction.
Virtual Fighter, as revolutionary as it was very blocky characters. There wasn't a whole lot of detail, and I remember thinking, I cannot see us representing the MK characters in that fashion. By the time we got to MK4, the hardware that we had at Midway at the time had been developed enough so that the characters could be represented in a way that still sort of maintained a lot of the qualities that you saw in the earlier games.
There was not a whole lot technologically that we could carry from what we had been doing into that game.
When you think about it, to some extent, Mortal Kombat 2 built on 1, 3 built on 2, and we just had a whole development environment that just kept getting more sophisticated, and we could do more. Mortal Kombat 4 was like reset again. It's like we're in polygon land. That constant balance between, do we wipe the site clean? Do we keep the block button, high punch, low punch, block, and whatnot?
It was such a departure from the digitized rhythm that we were in, and you know, we introduced stepping in and out of 3D, weapons.
I think we should have put the weapons more on the forefront. I think between Mortal Kombat 3 and Mortal Kombat 4, the novelty of hiding moves in the game was starting to wane a bit. I don't think we quite identified it. So we put down away high punch is pull out your weapon. In retrospect, we should have just put a button on there and you pull out your weapon.
We were such a ragtag team. I remember just staying up crazy late with programmers and with Mike Boone.
Game had started getting a little bigger, and they felt like they were understaffed. And eventually they just asked if I wanted to come over and join the team full time.
I moved into animation to figure out how to do motion capture, along with Steve Buran.
That was the very, very early days of mocap.
It's hard to work with, and cleaning up the data was really rough.
It was literally 6 mocap cameras, where now we have 50 plus. The animations for MK4 are, they're pretty raw.
Things like stage fatalities, the endings, all of those things were done in such a hurry.
I forgot about all the silly endings that we did.
It's over, Jarek. Shinnok is dead. The good guys won. You're coming back with me.
Never, Sonya. I agreed to help defeat Shinnok, not turn myself into the Special Forces. The Black Dragon, live on!
The Black Dragon died with Kano. You're the last one, Jarek.
Never!
We were doing an ending every day. Just go through all the animations in the game and find ones that that might apply to these particular situations. That's why the game has a lot of sections in it where it looks like the animations are really not made for what they're being used for.
Scorpion!
You know, like we didn't hire professional actors. It was just, you know, us.
Big mistake, yeah. Dan was scrambling, you know, of course, the schedule is tight.
Oh, yeah, everything.
We got to figure out how to make this game. And we got all this stuff to do.
Come in, Major Briggs. This is Lieutenant Sonia Blade. What?
I remember when he came to me and asked me to do a couple voices. I'm like, I don't do that. You know, I'm not very good at that. He had me come into the studio.
Liu Kang, you could.
Did I do Liu Kang? I don't even remember who I did.
Started like the war is over, and then you're in.
The war is over. I've once again defended my title as champion of Mortal Kombat and defended the realm of Earth, but I have failed to save the realm of Edenia. Kitana?
Yes, Liu Kang. It is I.
But I thought you were gonna lick—
With Shinnok's destruction, you have not only saved the Earth, but you've also saved my own realm. For that, I can never repay you.
Knowing that you survived is all that I need.
I don't remember what I did, but I should not have been doing it. That's all I know. In hindsight, when I look at it, given what NetherRealm is doing today, if you think about the earliest cinematics that were done, those were them. When you look at kind of where it is today compared to where it started, it's a pretty long journey there. But I think that was the sort of humble beginnings, I guess.
I'm sorry, Jax. Please, don't drop me. Wait, I promise. Too late, Jarek. You can't drop me. You have to uphold the law. You have to arrest me. Wait, this is brutality. You can't do it. Wrong, Jarek. This is not a brutality. This is a fatality.
Why I still love making games is that the technology is always changing, so you always have to stay on top of it. And I think MK4 was the first big taste of that. You can't make a bigger jump pretty much than from 2D to 3D.
Mortal Kombat 4 is about change.
That was one of the most fun projects.
MK.
Again, you're gonna have your arms. I'll take that.
the foot thing? Thanks, John. We're gonna do the blocking after this. It's the last shot, and we'll do some rehearsal. You got all the lines memorized, huh?
First and second sections, and the end section, by the time we get to that part filming.
Oh, yeah, okay. First section is the most important. Yeah, the first thing's the main deal. That's what
First,
we're gonna do
second
first.
section, and actually the last section I pretty much know.
Cool.
I'm just working on the Serena part, which we probably won't get to.
We're
Yeah.
good. I mean, the one that
all the
really...
other stuff I know, like that.
Good.
The big one is the one tomorrow, is the first one.
Yeah, I already, that's like,
Cool, man.
that's like
Excellent.
greetings and all that. And I know the whole thing.
Rolling and react. Good.
One more looking around, more looking around before you react. Yeah. We'll just get a little bit more of the searching before we say react this time. Okay? Still rolling.
Action. React. Move around. Good.
Let's do it like that. Exactly like that one more time. Then we'll like.
Yeah. First, yeah. We're rolling. Yeah, that's right. Look around. And then, bam, bam. Look up. Good.
Blinding. Cover your eyes.
Blinding. Covering your eyes. Good. Great.
Up on the top. So. That looks so cool. Oh, damn. I got a big old monitor and I'm looking through the eye hole.
Yeah. We have our new pillars in here too somewhere, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
Grandmaster, in honor of the Lin Kuai, I have brought you the sacred map of elements.
Once again, our most cunning assassin and thief is successful, and he is my legendary warrior.
Greetings. I see the ninjas with successful retreat.
That's right, that's right. That's right.
As I have foreseen.
Stay on camera, Rich.
Let's get something.
Yeah, remember, see, this is where the timing comes in.
Right.
Remember, find the camera. The camera's over here.
All right,
Look
hold
the
hand.
walk.
Hold the hand.
Yeah.
So I can have.
Look the walk. Yeah, ready? Find your, okay, go ahead, action, Rich.
Greetings. I see the ninjas been successful in retrieving the map. As I have foreseen. Let's get something straight.
Perfect. Keep going.
I am not a ninja. I'm Lin Kuai. Scorpion was a ninja.
Good.
However, unfortunately, battle was peasant shamans. Scorpion was tipped off. He knew I was breaking into that temple, and if he wasn't there, there wouldn't have been a battle. You're responsible for this sorcerer. I've also taken Scorpion's services. In case you fail, I can teach. Well, your peace of mind almost cost me this mission.
Enough! Plenty. What about our payment?
Okay, now we need to work this out.
Did you go?
Root beer. It's the one.
Hell. I was sure come for the easy part when we just power rated. I wasn't here for the tough stuff. Work around with spikes. Get a nice close up of those eyes. Get a street sound on this?
Yeah.
Bravo. Let that trickle water. He's a wascal, isn't he a wascal?
Peace. Peace, bro.
John, make a scary face. Make a scary face. Yeah. Quan Chi. Like this. Greetings. I see the ninja has been successful in retrieving my map, as I have foreseen.
How would De Niro look if he was doing this?
Just a little bit.
How would De Niro?
I see the ninja has been successful in retrieving my map, as I have foreseen. Sean Connery. Greetings. I see the ninja has been successful in retrieving my map, as I have foreseen. Quay. Damn it, Quay.
Squad. Quan Chi. Quan Chi. Lin Kuei. Quan Chi. Lin Kuei.
I'll never do that for our
Sub-Zero. He freezes things.
He's cold.
He's very cold. He's a very cold person. Now, Chi, on the other hand, is a very bad person. Ruthless. Cunning.
Bad hygiene.
But like I said, he's very cold.
Very cold.
As he's getting up, we're going to start in a second.
Ninja. Actually, no, he's not a ninja. He's Lin Kuei.
That's right.
Lin Q. He's Lin Kuei.
Cooey.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, let's just take it from there. And action.
At ease, my Lin Kuei warrior.
Greetings. I see the ninja has been successful in retrieving my map, as I have foreseen.
Let's get something straight. I'm not a ninja. I'm Lin Kuei. Scorpion was a ninja.
Ah, yes. Your Japanese counterpart. How unfortunate that you happened upon him in your battle of those pesky Shaolin monks.
Scorpion was tipped off. He knew I was breaking into that temple, and if he wasn't there, it wouldn't have been a battle. You are responsible, sorcerer.
Well, I have also retained Scorpion's services. In case you I needed some assurance.
Well, maybe a piece of mind was costly in this mission. Enough!
Quarantine. What about our payment?
Oh yes, I almost forgot. The bones of your arch nemesis and leader of Scorpion's ninja clan.
Our ancient foe. Vanquished in one transaction.
And I personally made certain that every last remnant of their clan has been eliminated forever.
You see something. You can trust a sorcerer sometimes.
Hi.
Hey, aren't you that pinball guy?
No, I was at one time, but I died.
Okay.
I come back as a video guy.
That's good.
Hey, look, it's Ed Boon.
Surprised. I was just like looking through it and I said, oh my god.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
Yep, it's awesome.
What?
I should have followed you, man. I
You ran into
right
traffic.
after the whatever, just clogged right out.
Do you always go that way?
Yeah.
Is it just like the pain?
No, it's just it's just I hate Colorado Road. I
Almost.
understand.
In the right position, Bill?
The foreground, background.
says take off.
You see, John Vogel, you can trust a sorcerer sometimes.
That's not your line.
I know. It's the only line I remember, though. Oh, yeah.
We've created a new game at Midway. We could tell you about its new Zeus chip and how it renders 1.2 million polygons per second. We could tell you about the Road Tour and the thousands of fans that waited hours to play. We could tell you about the millions of hits at its website, about the lifelike 3D characters and amazingly real backgrounds, about a new weapons feature that will revolutionize fighting games. More intense. But what we can tell you is that it represents change.
We decided to change everything. We decided to change the presentation of the graphics, the gameplay, add completely new elements to it all.
Mortal Kombat 4 is the first 3D Mortal Kombat.
Why did Mortal Kombat go 3D? That's a great question.
I honestly tapped out at that point. I was not a fan of 3D fighters. I looked at 4 and I wasn't really vibing with it.
Going 3D for the video game industry was a little bit like reinventing the wheel, but with polygons instead of pixels.
When Mortal Kombat 4 came out, I was absolutely taken aback that it was 3D.
You know, the transition to go from 2D to 3D is always tricky.
When it came out, I was insulted that there were no longer the photographed actors. Like, this isn't Mortal Kombat anymore. My biggest problem is whenever Mortal Kombat changed, I made the decision as the arbiter of Mortal Kombat that it was no longer Mortal Kombat.
Midway put out War Gods, which was kind of their first attempt at making a 3D fighting game. They take a lot of concepts from Mortal Kombat.
They had a 3D button instead of the run button, but it never felt quite comfortable. And so I was like, I really hope they don't copy this. I'm kind of glad they didn't do that. Instead, they added like the sidestep ability.
More of like a quick tap and you can dash into the foreground.
In Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, you had to dial a combo system, which was kind of like punching in a phone number. You have to know the phone number to do the combo. But fans were so creative with launchers that popped characters into the air and then comboing them on the way down with juggles, that even those static combos became something that you could use to express yourself as a player. Mortal Kombat 4's combo system was called Universal, where everyone had the same combos, and not everyone had the same special moves. So you could still, weave in special moves into the Universal combos to put your own little spin on them, but it wasn't the same as what you could do in Mortal Kombat 3. Mortal Kombat 4, I think, was one of the games that made the jump to 3D rather easily compared to a lot of other franchises.
It felt like it was not doing things as well as other 3D fighters in that space.
It was just so different. I couldn't get into it the same way.
Mortal Kombat 4 is one of those rare games where I like it a lot more now than I did when it came out. I could tell now that they were doing something interesting, bringing it into a new era.
Mortal Kombat 4 is kind of that bridge game to what is coming next, right? It's their kind of first attempt at 3D. And so I think it makes sense nowadays when we look back on it to go like, well, Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3 are such amazing video games. Like, what do you do after that? Like, yeah, you have to strip it all down and rebuild it from scratch, or else you're just making the same thing over and over again forever, and no one wants that after a certain point.
As far as I was concerned, I loved Mortal Kombat 4. Between the universal combo systems, between the weapons, between the characters, the endings.
We had a deal. A deal? I am not a god of my word, reptile. All deals are off.
I just thought Mortal Kombat 4 was this perfect package, and I played it to death. It's probably the game I've spent the most time in, even more than Mortal Kombat 2 on Super Nintendo.
Towards my later years of Midway, what I became conscious of was that there is business outside of Chicago. I thought of what other opportunities are there beyond my immediate work at Midway.
Mortal Kombat, it got really big. We created it, but we didn't own it. He wanted to do something that he owned, I think.
We had been approached a handful of times by other folks with offers to move on. Of course, I loved working at Midway. I had friends at Midway. The work I did, I was very proud of. We all look at each other as family, and I had been there for over 10 years.
So he and a group of guys left, and then they formed another studio.
Leaving at the time that I did, I was aware of these new platforms that were coming out. I knew Microsoft was working on something. I think the PlayStation 2 was the early phases of that. We thought that if we're going to leave and start something new, this is the time to do it.
I think I understood it, but I still missed working with him.
It was not an easy choice. I certainly didn't feel good about leaving. I felt like, okay, this is something I have to do.
We never had a problem. I mean, to this day, we're still on the same text chain, and we talk all the time and whatnot.
I don't know that there were hurt feelings. I think we didn't talk for a period of time, but as the years passed, we all realized that we had become such great friends just in working with each other that we weren't going to let the idea that I wasn't working there wasn't going to come between our friendship. So we're still, I'm still friends with everybody I worked with back then.
the NetherRealm era of Mortal Kombat, the kind of revamp of the franchise, a reboot, it is all still very much unapologetically Mortal Kombat. We wanted to play it against each other. We wanted to see all the cool finishing moves and how all the old moves have been brought back, because it was back to 2D.
Finish her!
Something that NetherRealm has always been really excellent at is innovating on their own formula and looking to push the boundaries of what they did in the previous games to say, we want to keep going and make this bigger and bigger, bring more people into the fandom. And Mortal Kombat 9, I think, was a really pivotal moment for that.
Your amulet. It is nothing, Liu Kang. The tournament begins.
I focus mainly on the creative, the overall direction that we're going to do. What's the new features we're going to add to this, the direction of the story and whatnot. I just want to expose his hand more, but it takes a huge team. It's a completely different animal. I haven't written code in 20 years or something like that, so.
I think it's a combination of things that keep Mortal Kombat interesting. First, it's NetherRealm's commitment to always innovating their gameplay mechanics. How are they continuing to one-up themselves? Like, where do these ideas keep coming from?
You have itches that you want to scratch. We wanted to do like this adventure thing. We've added the crypt. And we've added, conquest mode.
I am Shujinko. Pardon my intrusion, but you do not look like a demon of the Netherrealm.
I am Ashra. I was once like the others, before I found the means to purge myself of the evil taint that permeates all who reside here.
I believe that's played a huge role as far as the longevity of Mortal Kombat. Players not knowing, well, what's the next game going to happen?
What do you say we settle this man to man?
Best 2 out of 3?
Fair enough.
We must be careful. Madame Bo will kick us out if we break something.
Oh, this won't last long enough for that to happen. You will be down in no time.
Fight!
We're always trying to add something new. I think it's evolved dramatically over the years, and players are sticking with us. A big part of what motivates myself and our team is just the continuing support that players have so many years later. And it didn't really dawn on me that it's not the same group of players. Some people joined in around Deadly Alliance, some people joined during MK9 or something. So there's a novelty to a number of people who've only seen 3 Mortal Kombats as opposed to the 12 that we've done.
Something that I think really keeps the franchise going iteration after iteration is their ability to make it more accessible to a broader range of players and also a changing player base, adding simple fatalities that are a single button press. Adding combos that are easy to fire off. All make older gamers like me a little bit more willing to jump back in, but it also makes it really friendly for new players, which is fantastic. But on the other side, if you want to punish yourself, there are all the tools in there that you can make it as hard for yourself as you want. And I think that's what gaming in a modern era is all about, is giving gamers tools to play the games that they want. And NetherRealm has always been so excellent at that.
And the production of the games is huge now. The team was 4, and then it was 5 for MK2. I think it was like 7 for MK3. Once we got into doing directly to the home, where it was writing to a DVD or CD, there was a lot more memory to fill. We started getting into doing video to tell the story and whatnot. So all of a sudden, all these new disciplines are needed. You know, we have a number of producers on our team right now, and the directors, basically, you know, camera directors and whatnot, story writers, dialogue writers.
The Mortal Kombat franchise does story so well. It's so wild if you try to summarize what the lore of Mortal Kombat is to somebody. You're like, okay, how much time do you have?
Surrender Kronika's crown and the Elder Jackson Briggs. No harm will come to you.
Can we take an Elder God?
Cassie beat Shinnok.
Only because the cages are born with crazy magic powers.
Maybe we have our own magic.
These really wild, fantastical characters. You have gods, and you have robots, and you have animal humans and wizards and all kinds of stuff that makes it so fantastical and so fun. And the way that they've incorporated the lore and narrative into their story modes and campaigns in the games has been just phenomenal. They've made the campaign, for me, a go-to playable moment in every Mortal Kombat that comes out, and most fighting games can't say that.
It is an excellent ruse, your disguise.
If it's revenge you want, have at it. If it's restitution, there's nothing left.
What I want, Shang Tsung, is to elevate you, to make you the great sorcerer that now you can only pretend to be.
Over the years, at some point, we started just making movies, basically. When we did that with Mortal Kombat 9, it became our biggest Mortal Kombat selling game at the time, and I believe that was a big part of it.
They are absolutely paying attention to every facet of the space.
I hope you know our fight wasn't personal.
Please, do you realize how many tournaments I've fought in?
If you were to say, you know, which series and which IP and which kind of game has continued to figure out interesting ways to reimagine itself, MK has been doing that for such a long time.
I don't know how many franchises have their last games are the highest selling ones, which is like, you know, how does that happen? You know, usually there's a tail off and then eventually they finish. Our last few games have been our highest selling ones, so I don't know what, I don't know. We're doing something right.
Fatality. Raiden wins.
It's funny, when I look back at Mortal Kombat, what I wouldn't share with folks that I worked with was, hey, I do this for free.
4 people can make an entire game.
Ed Boon and John Tobias were young, they were hungry.
It's a bit of the Wild West. There wasn't rules.
They were working on projects at Midway that they found exciting, but when you're a creative person, eventually you're going to want to branch out and do your own thing.
John and I were talking about a game called Street Fighter. We were really kind of fixated on the idea of doing a photorealistic Van Damme fighting game.
Well, the visuals were incredible. It's digitized, it's real people.
You're seeing those 2 big characters on the screen. I was just like, this is the coolest thing ever.
After that game came out, graphics just kept taking leaps and leaps on top of each other.
There was so much to explore, and you had no idea of what you were still missing. And not having the internet at the time to go to, it made it very social.
When I first got a chance to see a fatality for the first time, I lost my mind. I didn't know that was allowed in a video game.
It was really the first mainstream hyper-violent game.
The way the local news would cover it was, can you imagine if Pac-Man could kill?
When a player wins, the so-called death sequence begins. The game narrator instructs the player to finish his opponent.
Certainly, the game being ported to the home kind of changed things a little bit.
That was a shocker to the moms and dads of suburbia.
The very idea that like Mortal Kombat was going to destroy society or the fabric of our youth was always ridiculous. If it was just like, hey, it's a cool fighting game and you can chop off heads, like we wouldn't be sitting here talking about it.
These games would just start showing up at arcades, copying Mortal Kombat. Bloodstorm, Time Killers, Tattoo Assassins. These games played terribly.
It was more than blood, more than guts, more than even a fighting game.
They really hit just like a gold mine.
Back then, it was kind of like you make a game, you hope it's a success, and you move on to the next game. And if it is a success, cool. You move on to the next game, you do something else, right?
When the game was done, certainly in my head, there was 10 things that I would have done differently.
And so that was the first time that I thought, oh, okay, I guess we're signed up for a sequel. The hardware that we were working on was improving. I think if you look at MK2 next to MK1, you notice the difference in terms of the aesthetics.
Mortal Kombat 2 built on 1, 3 built on 2.
The run button, oh my god. Oh my god. Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 were still great games, but they felt so much slower that it was hard to go back.
They play so differently, but the fact that they're so different is what's cool. Mortal Kombat 4 was like reset again.
The game had started getting a little bigger, going into 3D for the first time. I was super excited about it.
Mortal Kombat going 3D, I think, it makes sense when you look at where technology was going at the time.
People forget how tough the transition was to go from 2D to 3D for so many teams.
The team was 4, and then it was 5 for MK2. I think it was like 7 for MK3, 15 for MK4, and each game just grew. And once we got into doing directly to the home, it was writing to a DVD or CD, it takes a huge team.
Like they experimented and did all this different stuff with Mortal Kombat.
We're trying to up the game, like we're trying to come up with something that, progresses the game.
This was over the course of, 20, 25 years.
I think back to a conversation I had with an uncle of mine. He asked me, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I said, hey, I want to draw Spider-Man. And he said, well, somebody's already drawn Spider-Man. You got to make up your own thing. And I remember thinking to myself, yeah, I guess I got to make up my own thing. And Mortal Kombat was that thing. I mean, I think that it's, I don't know that I'll ever create something that resonates the way that Mortal Kombat did. That's kind of a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
Ed, and John Tobias, and, a handful of other guys just did a great job. That's it.
Mortal Kombat is actually the best-selling fighting game franchise in the world. It's always been my favorite fighting game.
When Mortal Kombat came out, it was like, oh, this is the pinnacle of gaming.
It changed the way the marketing happened. It changed the ways that people thought about violence.
It caused the industry to grow on so many levels.
It brought in the shock, awe, and humor that I think has represented the pure definition of video game entertainment.
There's a lot of games lately that would rather show you that they're art. It almost seems like they're performing. It's like me, please, tell me I'm acceptable, tell me I'm good enough. And Mortal Kombat is just like garage band and sort of American. It's like, go fuck yourself, you know? That's what I love about it. And I have to assume there's lots of us that love that.
You have players who are really wrapped up in the lore and the story and all of that in a way that like most other fighting games never really delved into.
Are you sure you're a grandmaster? Interesting.
Kung Lao, over here! It's why the games still have these, like amazingly crafted story modes to this day.
We must fight for each other, Baraka, not with each other.
Got anyone suspects? He said as much to my face.
Aid us, and I'll make sure you sit at Kotal's table.
It's this giant soap opera built on top of this super, super fun fighting game that really captured this feeling of mystery and magic that you get from old Kung Fu films.
And it's that curiosity, I think, that drives people to continue playing Mortal Kombat, and that has helped it remain a pillar of popular culture today.
I am not yet defeated. Yes, you are.
Temple of Kataravala, take 39, tail slate. That's a wrap.
They're making the fourth movie now, right? Like how many video game franchises have 4 movies made out of them?
And I really don't think about it, because I think about it as just a game, but no, it brings people together.
And it's created such a mass community.
Their fan base is one of the most loyal fan bases that I've ever seen in all of gaming.
It will always be the game that I think was my first love and continues to be that. I'm an MK fan for life.
I would hope that 100 years from now, people are still talking about Mortal Kombat, and Finish Him is still a thing.
There's such a fervent base of fans for it, so if they don't get sick of it, we're gonna still make it.
I think if that could be the legacy of Mortal Kombat, that it's just this evergreen thing that will always be with us, I think I'd be very happy.
And whether it's spin-offs or reboots or continuing the story, I'd love it if Mortal Kombat became a forever franchise like DC or Marvel or Star Wars, long after we're done working on our games, if it was something that everybody still wanted. Game over.